Hello dear Aquarius, welcome to my channel and to your February reading for 2020. We have here already a card that came out for your month card while I was doing your yearly reading. I will link it here so you can have a look at it, because you can get a better overview of the energies that you are working with this year. And by the way, happy birthday, you guys. It's nice. We have now the sun in Aquarius, and actually we have the moon in Aquarius, and we have Mercury right now in Aquarius. And it's an interesting energy for all of us, because after, sun in Capricorn and all the other planets that are in Capricorn and that earthy energy, we finally have now some air energy. So we will feel a little bit more free and a little bit more spacey. And this came in reverse. Yeah, and things will seem possible again. And your sign, it's all about vision, having a vision, having a unique vision, thinking about the future. So if you have started something maybe last month or last year, those foundations that we were talking about, that Capricorn sort of wants us to work with, now in February it's all about how do you progress with that, and how do you think ahead, how do you make a vision for your foundation. And here we have the Justice card as the energy that is leading this month. And the Justice card, it's about being balanced. And I have to think here about Libra, because this card represents Libra, and Libra, it's an air sign as well. So this energy goes well with your nature because it's an air energy, but instead of having that aloofness, that open wide horizon that you normally have in your approach, in your way of thinking and doing, the Libra energy, it's a little bit more concentrated. So you will have to be more balanced this month. Probably you even have to take a sort of decision. And it is something that you will have to analyze mentally. But as we see here, this person, it's enclosed in a room. This energy is very earthy, although it is analytic. It has to do with the everyday life energy. While your sign, it's a little bit more universal. It thinks about whenever you think about something, you think in terms of a universal good, a universal truth. And that's nothing wrong with that. It's just that right now you have to be a little bit more real, more related to the everyday life, more balanced, taking a decision that is tangible, that is fair, but fair in the everyday life. Of course, taking in consideration the higher good, because for me here the sword signifies that you are related to something higher. You are taking you are acknowledging a higher good, but your scale, it's pointing down to the earth. So it's something that has to work in the everyday life. And we see here underneath this Justice card, you have the Nine of Swords. So you are being very analytic, and there is something that it's actually frustrating you. It's keeping you awake at night, or you are suddenly waking up at night because of this decision, because of this position that you have to take. You have to be positioned somehow. You are asked to have a position in your life, in your everyday life, above. You are standing above a certain situation, and it's frustrating you, and it's making you anxious, and it's very mental energy. And it's interesting because here the Hanged Man, which is a card that I actually love a lot, it came in reverse. So maybe you have been hesitating a little bit in putting yourself in a position. So it's time to come out of this hesitation. It's time to be a little bit more assertive, a little bit more open, a little bit more fearless. And this is it's a solo card energy, and it's interesting because we have here the 11 and the Hanged Man, it's the 12, the card number 12. So it's almost like that's the next step that you have to do in order to take this decision, in order to deal with this situation. You have to come out of this Hanged Man situation. Maybe you have been thinking for a lot of time and you have been hesitating, and now it's time to come out of it. You have been getting some illumination. You have been getting some insight. So don't be afraid to follow that illumination that you have had. It's time to bring it up, to bring it out into the world, to bring it into your work. And interestingly enough, you have here the Lover's card, which is related as well to the Justice card, because the Justice and Libra card has a duality in it, and the Lover's card, which represents the Gemini, it talks about a duality as well. But here right now it's a matter of love somehow. It's something that needs your passion. It's something that needs your unconditional love towards something, but actually towards yourself. Because for me, the Lover's card, most of all, it's a card of the self. It's a card of the self-love. It's learning how to love yourself. And here the Hanged Man and the Lover's card, it's, to me, this means like you have been hesitating. You have been keeping yourself out of the question for such a long time. You have been viewing a certain situation, but you have not been acting on that. So now it looks like it's time that you finally come back with yourself in this situation. Maybe even be a little bit more self-loving, self-caring. Think about yourself in a way. Be just to yourself, to see what is in your favor in a way. Because we know with your sign you are thinking a lot about society. You think in terms of groups. You see yourself related to everything else around you. And it's almost like you are getting out of this isolated state of mind, where you have been keeping yourself out of the question, but this has been bringing you trouble. It makes you anxious. Maybe you even had a fight regarding this, regarding your implication in an issue, in a project, in a relationship. Maybe you felt, oh, getting too much involved. I'm being too egoistic. I'm not thinking about the good of everybody else, of what is best for all. But it's time that you bring yourself back in that issue. It's time to get out of this condition. It's time to take decision based on self-love, on a different balanced energy of self-love. What does that mean? That even might mean that you have to be a little bit alone, work alone, stay alone, out of a relationship, take care of yourself. This is a card of taking care of yourself, taking care of the other part of yourself. Being compassionate about yourself and taking this decision in a discussion with yourself, in an inner discussion with yourself, and in a discussion with your higher self, with your higher good, with whatever higher forces you believe in. But there is something that has been causing you some trouble, and you've been trying to be fair, or you are trying to be fair all the time. But you have been trying to be fair by keeping yourself out of the situation, or by keeping your own interests out of the issue. And the thing is that with these two cards, it indicates me this illumination here and the sun behind here is that when you think of yourself in terms of this unification within yourself, with the higher good and with the opposites within yourself, you are related to a higher good. You are being fair, so you have to trust yourself and the forces you believe in when taking this decision, or when taking this step, or when working on the vision for your foundation. So don't hesitate this month. Get out of hesitation, and try to include your own interest in the issue, whatever it is, because you have to be clear that that higher issue, that issue of the self, it's a higher issue. Do it in a conversation with the higher self. Take some time. Meditate. Yeah, that's the card of meditation here. Yes, there's the card of meditation in the middle of the reading, and then there's the Five of Wands, which means there's a conflict around you. And this is a conflict in society, and at your working place, at friends, where you gather, there is a discussion going on, there is a matter of different opinions, and people are talking about it. And you may suddenly find yourself involved in it, although I see you here totally not being involved in it. Because this standing here under the Lover's card, this may be as well a love issue. But it looks like your family, your friends, people around you are discussing about your love, are not agreeing about a certain relationship or the way how you want to live your life, or they have a problem with your relationship. And you are trying to keep the balance. you know, by making it right for everyone, but letting them talk about it, which is even good, because it's like you are not getting involved in this fight. It's just that it looks like you have to take a decision about yourself. Or if you, in the working place, you have this position where you have to direct people or to take decisions, there are these two energies here which are getting you out of balance. And one is this conflict and different opinions. Although for me, this card, the Five of Wands, is just, you know, like for me, these people are in their free time because they don't know what to do. They are having a conflict. It's their best way of dealing. It's like like an unthoughtful way of acting. And here the Temperance card is the same as the Justice card. And all what is being asked of you is to be balanced in all of this. This month is a lot about balance, but it's like inner balance. And meditation. And the Hermit card here, which stands underneath the Hanged Man, it looks like you have been doing this sort of inner process. And you are coming out of it with some sort of light. You have all these beautiful major arcanas. So you are trusting yourself this month. And based on that process that you have been undergoing, you are sort of coming back to reality, to the everyday life. And you are leaving behind this sort of conflict by trying to find a balance. And that balance, it's inside you. And you have been hesitating on taking a decision. But it's time now, because the Lover's card is as well about taking a decision. It's time to take a decision, and it is a decision that it goes, it's a decision where you choose yourself, where you choose your own interest. And it may be painful, and it may be against what other people around you are wanting. But yeah, you have to go with yourself here. And it's a fair decision. Just get out of this hesitation. You have been reflecting enough. You have been discussing with yourself all the options. It has been taking some time for you. It has been slowing you down a little bit. But this will give you peace, this decision that you will take. And maybe you might be afraid, but that's the only way. You have to take, like it's taking a path which is, as I said, it's like choosing you. Maybe even in a relationship, if you've been having some struggles or some problems or some issues, and you think that you are right, or you know, because you have been getting this insight, you have been reflecting, You have to choose you, because that will give you an inner stability. And then you can go further with that. It may be painful right now, but it will give you more satisfaction in the future. Okay, that was the reading for the month of February. Thank you so much for following. Please subscribe, leave a comment, and hit that notification button. I will see you soon in March.